This is Houston, loud and clear. Break, push. This is Houston, radio check and verify TV circuit breaker in. Read 5 clear. And we're getting a picture on the TV.
The hopper. Yeah, the hopper. The hopper. That one DVR lets us record up to 6 shows at once and play them back in any room.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
All right, lead dogs, here we are. We are here for episode 13 of the Satellites Unlimited podcast. It's a great time of year. We felt the temperature drop here in central Alabama. Football season. There were some football games last night. You had West Virginia battling Pittsburgh. You had Oklahoma State with a big win yesterday. These are all ranked teams. Wake Forest with a win. We got a huge lineup this weekend. NFL next weekend. The Labor Day weekend is here. What is there not to be excited about, gentlemen?
There's an awful lot going on. It's my goodness. Could we pack anything more into the next week or so? Probably not.
Does this work?
Did you just honk? Totally inappropriate, John. Totally inappropriate.
Oh, I kid.
So, guys, we have a jam-packed show as usual. We have 3 guests today: Clayton Henley from Grenada, Jesse Jones from Birmingham, Jonathan Pryor from Monroe. But, let's get down to brass tacks here. You guys got anything special planned this weekend? Anything going on?
I don't really, but I tell you what, I'm, once again, as I always am, very excited about this podcast and the growing audience, growing beyond the threshold of Satellites Unlimited. And Grant, you had shared with me earlier in the week that we are gaining an audience worldwide, continues to grow in places such as Greece. You mentioned Greece.
Yes.
You mentioned India.
That's right.
You mentioned Israel.
That's right.
And also Canada.
Yeah.
Not to mention the growing popularity we have, and I cannot figure out why, Todd, Scranton, Pennsylvania.
I may have some feelers out there in Scranton. Hey, guys.
But here's how I know that this podcast is growing in popularity, because for the very first time ever, friends, we have received fan mail.
What?
Well, actually, I guess you call it fan email, right? Because nobody actually takes the time to write a letter these days, right? Stamp and all that stuff. But anyway, so I received this on August 23rd from Floris Shoot, or maybe Chute. I'm not quite sure the pronunciation.
Probably.
So, I think it's from the UK. I'm not positive of that either, though. But Floris writes this: "Congratulations on the launch of your podcast. I love the episodes I've watched and really support the work you all put in for Satellites Unlimited." And here's why this testimonial, this viewer, is so important to us, friends, because Floris Shoot actually owns a podcast agency. So who better to grade the quality, the caliber of the Satellites Unlimited podcast than someone who actually owns a podcast agency? Floris, thank you so much for being a fan of the podcast. We appreciate you very much.
And just for clarification, John, this is somebody that works outside of Satellites Unlimited.
That's right.
You think that they're from the UK, which I will say the most recent data analytics show that 9 people in the UK are avid listeners, believe it or not. And you mentioned India and Israel. I think there's 2 folks there apiece. So again, you're not saying this tongue in cheek that the podcast is growing in popularity. It really is based off the data that is getting sent to us. I know.
Hey, I'm never tongue in cheek about anything, friends.
I know we offer a lot of cheese and several different things that we do, but in this case, this is legitimate, right?
This is perfectly, yes, 100% legitimate. Got the email right here from Floris Shoot. August 23rd, came in at 2:49 p.m. Central Standard Time.
So doing the math, that's they're 6 hours ahead, burning the 8 o'clock oil.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're on people's minds late in the evening. And I would say, like, hey, we're I think at this point we should be in search of sponsors, right? Like, with the growing popularity of the podcast, it's great to have some sort of additional funding, some folks that we can talk about their products on the podcast. We're in search of a sponsor, I believe.
Well,
right?
I'm glad you brought that up, Grant, and something I need to share with you folks that, in the last episode, I talked about 2 sponsors that we had. However, I was somewhat misinformed. These were not paid sponsorships.
Wait. Floyd.
What?
Floyd Lawson, our producer, got in my ear, and I'm not going to blame Floyd. It's all right,
Floyd.
I'm not blaming Floyd.
Unreal.
But I may have misheard him in my earpiece.
You're
So
better than that, Floyd.
what we're actually looking for, friends, these are sponsors we wish we had. We products that we wish would sponsor the podcast, and we actually have a couple this week.
I think Floyd might have set you up, John.
He might have, I don't know, but this week though, the Servicemember podcast, we wish would be sponsored by Heinz ketchup packets. When you just need a little bit of ketchup, it has to be Heinz. And also Kellogg's Zesta Original Saltine Crackers. Great with soup, salad, or even alone as a delicious snack.
You got a little tummy ache. A
go.
cracker settles it right down.
And maybe you can do the 2 together.
Ooh, I don't know about that now.
Could be a great hors d'oeuvre. Find out, friends, and see.
So,
Ketchup crackers.
so Todd, do you have any ideas of, maybe a potential sponsor for the show?
So, it's been a hectic last couple of weeks, Grant. A lot going on in my household, right? With the dogs, we've gone over that for the last couple of weeks. I'm going to go ahead and give a shout out to a young lady that took a very long trip last Saturday, very early in the morning. Tessa, I love you. I hope you're having fun in Malibu, California. We had to send her off back to college.
Malibu, California.
Yeah, it's terrible. Yeah, she was so miserable.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I bet.
So it's been a hectic couple of weeks, and as a result, I can think of no better sponsor request than I have a prop as well, John. Just call the phone. If I scroll down to the last website that I went to, I want to put a shout out to see if we could get a sponsorship from. Where'd it go? BetterHelp.com.
BetterHelp.com. What do they do?
BetterHelp.com.
What do they do?
They are therapy on demand. So if you have a hectic couple of weeks like I did, what better place to go than?
So is this like a massage
No,
type place?
no,
or?
it's for mental health professionals.
Okay,
to
mental
provide.
health.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. You have a hectic couple of weeks, you need to unload. They'll provide a resource for
So
you.
is this like going to see a psychiatrist and you're sitting on the long
Oh, yeah,
couch?
yeah, yeah.
You're laying on the couch.
And I think you have to supply your own couch. They don't obviously ship you a couch.
Is this virtual? This is
Oh,
virtual.
it's all virtual.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I got you. So this
And if
isn't
you don't like the thing that they advertise, if you don't like the counselor you have, you can just go to another one.
Oh, okay.
Kind of neat.
So it's called.
So BetterHelp.com, reach out. We'll get you in touch.
We'd love to
with our
have
people.
BetterHelp.com as a sponsor. Now, I'll tell you this, this podcast is driven by several things, right? It's driven by our core values. It's driven by our people. Look at that.
I think they might be calling me right now.
Yeah. I don't know if we want to have a live on the air, see,
I don't think so.
Oh,
We'll
yeah,
just pass
okay.
it right now. But anyway.
So, but what I was saying was we're powered by our core values. We're powered by our people. Our people are the reason why we have this podcast. It provides another medium to provide recognition and to discuss things pertinent to the business. Yes, we have fun with it because it's not just another morning meeting, right? But I'll tell you something else powers this podcast. We have an on-air, for those that may not know, we have an on-air light outside the studio here, and it is powered by Duracell batteries.
Rechargeable, though.
Now, yes, and what I'd like to add is, so you have the rechargeable unit that you can plug in, and not only will this do double A's, this will also do triple A's.
What?
Yeah, so Duracell batteries, we'd love for you to be a sponsor for our podcast. We're all about recognition. We're all about, celebrating our people and the hard work that they do each and every day out in the field. So that's what I got for a potential sponsor, guys.
Duracell's all about hard work too, right? Like, have you seen that buddy going by every once in a while?
That's Energizer, right?
Sorry, Duracell.
What a show, guys! What a great start to we got batteries, we've got ketchup, we've got crackers,
And
we've
mental
got it
health.
all.
Right.
And good mental
And
health.
best of
And good
all,
mental health, yes.
and best of all, we have our special guest coming on, and we asked a podcast question this week
It was a great one too.
of what is your biggest achievement? And we got some fantastic answers. Per usual, we'll cover stories from the field later on in the program. But we were flooded with responses. And this seems to be typical every week. Again, it kind of goes with the territory of growing in popularity, right? But I appreciate folks being willing and open up themselves and sharing with us and enlightening us on just a small fraction of what their lives entail.
Oh, absolutely. And we do have two great guests today, and looking forward to that. And I think our first guest is coming up here soon, I believe. Right?
Yeah, Clayton Henley from Grenada, and he hasn't been here very long, but he's done great things out in the field, and and I know, John, you kind of plan on covering that. And then we'll have Jesse Jones, who has quite the accomplishment himself. A little teaser here: Jesse Jones from Birmingham is in a Hall of Fame.
He is indeed.
So we're gonna tease that, find out by continuing to listen to the podcast on what Hall of Fame Jesse Jones is actually in, and then we wrap up with a tech from Monroe who just achieved something amazing, and I think his journey to get there is pretty interesting. So I look forward to hearing you guys speak with Jonathan Pryor from Monroe, Clayton Henley from Grenada, and then obviously we're going to see if Jesse can go 5 for 5, because nobody's done it yet. We're just waiting on somebody to join the show and get 5 answers correctly.
Well, your questions are hard.
They are. They are.
Let's admit that. But I'm anxiously awaiting Jesse's responses.
Yeah. I think we're gonna have a little fun. Jesse's a high energy guy, and so super pumped about the lineup. So, guys, while we're waiting on Clayton, is there anything pertinent to the business that's happening that we may need to highlight? I know we had Compass just get launched, right?
Yeah.
So instead of using Portal, we have a new way to access information.
There's some pretty exciting Jupiter stuff going on right now.
Yeah. We got Fusion, right?
We got Fusion.
Yeah. So we're going to start getting folks trained on the Fusion.
What is Fusion, John?
It is an upgrade that will reduce the latency. It will improve the quality of the HughesNet service overall.
It does so, right? So we should have a sponsor right there, right? Potentially.
Hughes, we'd love for you to
bit.
sponsor the podcast. Well, I tell you what, guys, we have our first guest on the line. We've kind of built this up here, and without further ado, we're gonna have our interview with Clayton Henley out of the Grenada location, and I got John P. with the interview.
Your systems are offline.
All right. Well, Clayton, thank you so much for being on the Satellites Unlimited podcast. We are so happy to have you with us. You, my friend, have acquired a large number of accolades and accomplishments in the less than a year you've been with Satellites Unlimited. We're going to talk about all of those here in a moment. But first of all, tell us about French Camp, Mississippi. I have never heard of French Camp, Mississippi. Is that where you were born and raised?
Yes, sir. Can y'all hear me?
We hear you just fine, my friend. Yep.
All right, yes, sir. I was born and raised right around that area there. French Camp is it's a little town right on the trace. Uh, Not much to it. I think it may be 700 people, and that's including the rural population that claims French Camp as their mailing address. So,
Hmm.
uh, not a real big place. Matter of fact, that's where the French and the Native Americans came down to do their trading. So it's really a historical place. It's not anything else, no industry or anything. So.
Wow, that's really interesting. And I've never heard of French Camp before. Have you guys heard of French Camp?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. If
Okay.
you go from Birmingham to Grenada in that area on that main thoroughfare, French Camp is right off of there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the first time I heard about it was when Clayton Henley joined us. And Clayton also wanted to take a kind of a sidebar here. Thank you so much for the recent dish retail referral sale you generated. I believe it was for yourself. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. I finally just went ahead and bit the bullet. I got tired of doing all my streaming, and told my wife, I said, I know how to do everything about it. I said, and I can work on it too. So let's just get it.
Well, good. We're glad to have you as a dish customer, and glad you got to do the install, and really happy about the fact that you earned yourself a $125 retail referral bonus for referring yourself as a brand new dish customer. So let's talk about right now. You had shared a very powerful story regarding our question to the Satellite Summit podcast audience, which was, what is your biggest achievement? So please share your story with our audience.
Yes, sir. So when I was 18, I just graduated high school. I didn't really have much ambition. I just wanted to make a lot of money and do it fast. So the oil field seemed like a good idea to go get that done. So I hit up a few guys, and that basically to get hired on out there, it's not an interview process. If you know somebody, they can get you on, and you can start making money quick. And so I left and went to Kentucky, my first job, and really kind of tried to show out the best I could so I could get my name out there to keep work. And I guess I did okay. I stayed busy for 5 years or so. Along the way, we would come home for 2 or 3 weeks at a time between jobs. And I met my wife now. I met her while I was home. And I don't mean to sound corny or nothing, but I just knew I wanted a family with her. I knew I wanted to marry her pretty early on. So we traveled on the road together. I had a fifth wheel camper, and we traveled everywhere. And some jobs she couldn't go with me just because of the way things were working out, and I really didn't like that about the job. So right along that time, I was kind of getting where I was wanting to get out of the line of work, and then she became pregnant with my daughter. And right around the time my daughter was born, it just the wheel to just go 24/7 kind of left me, and I decided I wanted to be a family man. So I came home, got a little job with a little water company, making $29,400 a year to the exact penny, and I just could not make it. It was paycheck to paycheck and eating ramen noodles every night, and it just wasn't for me. So I applied with Satellites Unlimited and went in for the interview, talked to Kyle Newland and Marvin Williams, and Marvin's really the one that kind of turned my attention towards it more, because he said, if you got that work ethic and you want to make the money, it's kind of up to you how much you want to make. And I was like, well, I got $1 million work ethic. I'll just come over there and make as much as I can. So that's what I've been striving to do ever since. And going from paycheck to paycheck to now, we get to eat what we want and do what we want to do. I've been able to buy a house and just keep my place up. It's been awesome.
Well, I know that Marvin Williams, the FSM in Grenada, big supporter of yours, Clayton. Also learned a lot about you months ago, courtesy of Grant Hoban, who did a fantastic human interest story on you back on May the 18th of this year, talking about your family. We saw some photos of your beautiful family. You talked a little bit about the pipeline industry. So let me ask you this. What were some of the demands of the pipeline industry versus the demands of being a technician here at Satellites Unlimited? Are there any similarities?
There's a few. The main demands of the pipeline are just, it's definitely 6 days a week, and majority of the time 7. You're always behind schedule. You never know why you're behind schedule, but you're always behind. So 7 days a week, 12, 14 hours a day. and it's hard work. You don't get any downtime. You get there, you should be on the right of way by 7:45, and after that you're going to work constantly throughout the day. You just grab a sandwich when you can. There's no lunch breaks or anything, so it's very just go 100% of the time until you finish the job. You may get laid off on a Friday and they call you Saturday morning and say, hey, I need you to be 18 hours away by Monday morning, ready to work again. So, it was really unpredictable, a lot of hard work, a lot of long hours, and your job's never secure. You better hustle or you're not going to have a job very long out there. And then versus the technician, I mean, it can be as hard as you want to make it out here is what I've come to realize. If you want to really get with it and hustle, you can make a lot of money, which is I try to do that. So I try to get with it and hustle like I did on the pipeline, and it's paid off doing that. But this is a lot more laid back, but it's serious. But as far as the go, and you're going to get fired if you're not running everywhere. It's not like that here.
Well, there's no question, Clayton, you've had a tremendous year. I mean, you started with us back October 11th of 2021. In less than a year, you've achieved already a Tech of the Month championship, a Tech of the Quarter championship. You also achieved, and this is very impressive, guys, lead technician status in less than a year, which is quite an accomplishment. So how did that make you feel?
It made me feel great. I strive to be the best, and it really, really irritates me when I'm not the best. It just gives me that much more drive to try to. I pick out whoever's the best, and I was like, all right, I'm going to beat you this time. I'm going to go after you this time, and I'm going to do better than you because I just know that I can. It's not nothing against anybody, but that's just my mentality that I try to keep. My first full quarter here, I got to go tier 3, and then my second quarter I went tier 5. So I was really ecstatic about that.
Awesome. Man.
So I think we know what attracted you to Satellites Unlimited, but more importantly, what are some of the things that have kept you attracted to working here at Satellites Unlimited?
Really, just the structure of everything, the support that we have here. If we're in the ledgers and we've got lead tech chats and everything else. But if you got problems, just anybody will help you. I mean, I remember going to training and Todd was our trainer over there in Birmingham at the time. And, he even put his number up there. He's like, hey, y'all call me if y'all need something. That really kind of stuck with me because everywhere else I worked, it's kind of, if you can't figure it out for yourself, we'll find somebody who can versus here that it's just, you get so much support and help from everybody.
Well, Clayton, I mentioned earlier that Marvin Williams, your field service manager in Grenada, a big supporter of yours. In fact, he had submitted a comment months ago. I think it was back during the human interest story that Grant wrote. He states here, Clayton has been a blessing to our team here in Grenada and Tupelo. We are proud of all you've accomplished, and thank you for all you're doing for us. Clayton is dedicated to his family, to his team, and that commitment shows in all that he does. So the great testimonial comments from Marvin Williams out of Grenada for you, Clayton. And in closing, what advice would you give to the newer technicians out there? And really, I would say particularly the ones that have been with us, what you say, guys, less than 6 months maybe? Okay, that's probably a good number there. But also to anyone watching this program right now who may be considering a career as a professional technician with Satellites Unlimited. What advice would you give to all those folks?
Listen to your lead techs, listen to your managers, because the lead techs got there for a reason. I mean, they were lead techs. They did what they had to do to get the job done, so they know what they're doing. Buy into what everybody's telling you because every piece of advice you're going to get is to make you more money, make you more successful. And if the company's successful, you're successful since we're an ESOP. So, I mean, it just works both ways. Anybody considering coming, it's been the greatest job I've ever had. I love it every day. I don't wake up dreading going to work. I look at my route and I'm like, heck yeah, I get to go over here today. And man, it's just, I love it. So I think everybody else would love it too if they've got a little bit of work ethic and they want to see themselves do better in life.
Well, Clayton, great advice. And we thank you for all you do here at Satellites Unlimited. We wish you continued success in the future. Be safe, my friend. Take care. And thank you so much again for taking time to be on the Satellites Limited podcast.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks,
All
Clayton.
right. Thanks, Clayton.
You still got my number, right, Clayton?
Yes, sir.
All right, big guy. Have a good day.
Jumper systems are offline.
All right, man. Well, wow. If that's not one of the most powerful testimonials we've ever heard, like I don't know what would be considered, what could top that.
No, less than a year with us. What a grounded young man too, and just you can tell he's very family oriented. Tremendous work ethic. Everything I hear about this young man is a positive. I've yet to hear anything negative about him. Less than a year, and look at what he's accomplished.
Yeah, I loved his, where he said $1 million work ethic.
Yeah,
and how competitive he is, and being here many years in being at the training facility, Todd, you can speak to the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen so many people with the potential to do the job, but and I know a lot of times we're kind of in search of what is that magic ingredient, what's the secret that makes a successful technician. To me, it has always been that grit, determination, self-motivation, and the work ethic. If you're willing to put the work in, you can get out of it what you put in.
We have a value centered on that exact same thing, right? It's our lead dog mentality. It's what we strive for to achieve greatness. You can, again, as you said, Grant, you can have all the tools, but you got to have the biggest tool of them all, and that's drive and desire and ability to tough it out when it's tough. And Clayton clearly has that in abundance. So,
and we always talk about that first 6 months is key critical, right? For a brand new technician, don't give up. You're going to get it. It takes time. This job, this career is an investment in time. But if you give up too early, you know what? You're going to miss your momentum to finally say, hey, you know what? I got it. Clayton Henley has that attitude, that passion, that drive. And I hope everyone watching listened to his words, what he had to say about his success here, his path of achievement here at Satellites Unlimited versus where he was at before in his life, and how much he values where he's at right now.
Yeah, no, that was a powerful testimonial. And I tell you what, if that doesn't get you fired up on a Friday as we approach football season and Labor Day weekend, this is awesome, man. What a great start to our podcast. Well, I tell you what, we have a firecracker of a guest. I would describe as a young man who is full of energy, and I do say that tongue in cheek because he's one of our older techs, and if you ever met him and you saw what kind of shape this guy's in, you would never know it.
You'd never know it.
You would never know it. So I'm pleased to announce Jesse Jones is our participant with the SUI podcast trivia, and we have him as a special guest. Jesse, you out there?
I am.
What's up, big man?
Man, I'm just out here trying to do my due, trying to make it like, you know how I do it. You've been around me for quite a while, Grant. You know what I do.
Yes, sir, I do. Are you fired up about this weekend or what?
I am. I am. I already got my Alabama hat on and everything. I'm rolling Tide all the way, babe.
So I mentioned it, in your introduction, is that, how old are you now, Jesse? Are you 52?
August 14th, I turned 54, Grant. Don't take no years from me. I take them all. I'm glad to see
you. 54 years old. And guys, if you saw Jesse and I felt his bicep before. It's harder than a rock. That may sound strange, but he's certainly a specimen. Jesse, where do you get your work ethic on working out at, man? And how did that start, bud?
Actually, it started when I was about 16. I actually been working out ever since I was 16, it just really something that stuck to me. I really just enjoyed doing it and trying to, and just really to see the body change and to see the muscle grow and stuff like that. It's addictive. It's something that draws me into it. I just love it.
So Jesse, this is John P. A question for you. Do you work out before the workday or after the workday is over?
Actually, I work before the workday. I do get up and do stuff like sit-ups and stuff like that. And then when I get home in the evening, once I unwind and everything, I'll go out. I go out and just start working out in the evening time, which of course I have a lot of equipment at home. I have tires I flip and everything. And so
wow. Okay.
I do everything.
Well, it's working, my friend. You certainly have found the fountain of youth.
I work hard for it.
You do. And the hard work pays off, Jesse, because you're absolutely shredded like a salad. So, hey, we did a kind of a teaser at the beginning of the program. We mentioned, speaking of, working out and in some of your athletic endeavors, you are in a Hall of Fame, aren't you?
I am. I'm in the Tuscaloosa Bowling Hall of Fame. I've been bowling about 36 years now. Have about 18 300s. I have several 800 series, which is more harder. The 800 series are harder to get than the 300s. They are, because you actually have to average 260 points a game in order to average that up to 800 series, and it's really hard to do that over and over and over again. But it's just something. One day I went bowling with the church and I hit those pins, and I just couldn't let it go after that. I just continued doing it, and so now I've been doing it for years.
So Jesse, yeah, I know that you're an avid bowler, and I have I remember when you tell me if you remember this. Now I don't remember the exact situation.
Oh Lord, I don't want to do this, Grant. do this. No.
I want to say, I can't remember what it was. I think possibly you put in a vacation request or something like that, and I don't remember if maybe you didn't have the available days or something, and like we had a discussion about it, and I think you had expressed, hey, you wanted to go out to Las Vegas, right? And for those that may not know, I was the general manager of Birmingham for a long time. Jesse was there long before me hiring on. July 3rd, 2009, right, Jesse?
Yes, sir. That's it.
Same day as Donovan Smith in Birmingham. And so anyways, Jesse and I's relationship goes, pretty far back, dates back to 2016 when I joined the Birmingham team. And so anyways, Jesse had gotten with me and said, hey, look, there's this event out in Vegas I really want to go to, but I don't remember what the situation was, Jesse, but, we didn't really work it out. But what ended up happening in that situation?
Well, the thing is that see what happened was, so I did have the days. You was correct about that, and we did talk about it. But I had already paid all this money, plane ticket, all this stuff. So I I just had to do something that was a little bit against the grain, and Grant decided to do some checking up on me because I just eventually just kind of went, and I didn't have the approval for it, and Grant checking up on me. So when I came back to work, when I got back after the tournament, Grant got that in the office and we was talking about it, and he just knew everything about me. So it was just like walking into a brick wall. And I just had to, my eyes were bucked when he was mentioning everything to me that where I was at and everything. And I was like, oh my God, I'm caught. So
yeah, and that took a lot of digging too, man. I couldn't get all the information from one site. It was like multiple sites I had to go to and dig. I was going to find out where you were at, Jesse Jones.
And,
You did.
but
But
it was our learning lesson, and everything worked out fine though. I'm still
you know
here,
what?
and I've been here 13 years now. So I love my job. I
You know
really
what,
do.
Dusty, though, man? Like you say that you learned something in that specific situation, but I can't tell you how many things you've taught me through the years, you know? And
Wow.
I can remember when our relationship was, you know, I mean, there was some tumultuous beginnings, and I think it had to do with some
Yes.
trust with
Yep.
managers and the operation Pryor, and I had to earn that trust from you for our relationship to kind of cultivate and foster, you know, what it is today. And so I'm
Yeah.
certainly appreciative of you for teaching me some very valuable lessons in relationship and being a better manager, because you did do that for me, bud.
Yeah, we bumped head quite a few times, but that's a learning process, you know, because you had to learn me, and I had to learn you.
That's exactly right.
Once we got to a common ground where we can communicate with each other, you know, everything ain't gonna run smooth, but you just have to work and talk and get through things, and
That's
then
right.
you get someone, and everything, you know, just have patience and everything works out.
That's right. And you and I have talked. We've been on the phone past midnight before, haven't we?
Oh, yes, we have. Yes, we have.
So it takes time, it takes effort, just like any other relationship, is I think kind of like, you know, what we can leave that as. Well, I tell you what, Jesse, it's time to have a little bit of fun, brother. We're going to play a little bit of podcast trivia here. You ready?
I hope so. I mean, I've been here long enough. If I don't pass this, I'm just gonna take my van home. I'm just gonna drive on to the shop, and I'm just gonna go ahead.
I don't know, Jesse. Be careful. This is,
Yeah.
it isn't as easy as you think it is.
Yeah. We got some tough questions here. All right. So we're going to go ahead and start, Jesse Jones. Remember, nobody has gotten 5 questions correctly yet.
Oh
So,
my God!
I still can't remember.
Here we go.
all right.
Which one am I? Am I
You're the right answer.
So
I'm the
they're
wrong answer.
determining, you know, what
Yeah.
buzzer that each one, Jesse, I know you can't see them right now, but they have a buzzer in front of them. They are ready to ding you for a correct answer or buzz you for a wrong answer.
So the
man.
right
So-
answer sounds like this. And the wrong answer sounds like this.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this.
All right. All right. Here we go. All right. Question number 1, Jesse Jones. What kind of check should a technician perform on every service call?
Shoot. I know this one. I hold on. It's trying to come to me. Oh my God. It's
There's no
Jay.
number of answers you can answer, right?
Jay.
When you
What
get
is
to a service call, we ask technicians to do a specific type of check.
In the
It's
end check.
Yes, very good. All right, we have a buzzer for Jesse. Here, do it again. I was talking over it. There we go. All right. Moving on to a tier 2 question, Jesse Jones. What does GOAL stand for in the Smith driving system?
Oh my God. Oh shoot. Oh.
So we can give you some hints, I think, right?
And it's crazy. I heard this for 13 years. I can't think of what it.
You're talking to the Smith instructor too. It's breaking my heart, Jesse.
Yeah, I know, right?
So when you're backing up and you get to the point where you might lose sight of something, the GOAL principle.
I know you get out. If you can't see, you get out and go around and check and make sure it's clear. I know that. But I
So
just can't.
you have
Thank
three.
you.
You have 3. You just said 3 of the
Yeah.
4 things in GOAL. You said get out and
Get out.
No,
You
it's
get,
an L.
you get out. Check your surrounding.
Now, what do you do if you're? No, we can't.
and it starts with an L. Get out and. You already said get out and.
You get out. You look.
Hey.
All right.
All right. All right.
Oh.
There you go.
Oh.
All right. So we are going to move on to a tier 3 question.
Oh my God.
Yeah, they get harder as we go, bud. All right. What is a joule? So our surge protectors have a joule rating, right?
That is, yes, that is
What is a joule?
A joule is the it's like the life of a surge protector. It's with I know what the joules for. Like if every time a house get hit with surges or whatever, it eats those joules up, and
That's
it
correct.
makes them weaker. But
That's right. So like you said, every time a lightning strike happens or a power surge happens, it does deplete the joules of that surge protector. So for instance, if our surge protector is rated with 2,540 joules, if it sustains a lightning strike of 1,000 joules, then now that surge protector is only capable of protecting up to the capacity of 2,540. It dropped by 1,000, which is why they say you should replace surge protectors every 2 to 3 years, right? So,
right.
But what specifically is a joule, if you had to describe it? All right, so I'm gonna. All right, I think we're running out of time on this question.
Exactly what it is, but I know what it is, but I just can't put it into words what it is. All right,
go ahead. It's a measurement of energy.
Okay.
All right. So a joule, you have watts, that it's a measurement of energy, but when you talk about things like power surges and lightning strikes that have so much power, they're measured in joules.
Okay.
Right. So we're going to continue on with a tier 4 question. We're going to see how many you can get right out of 5. We're not done yet. Okay.
Oh Lord. Okay.
All right. When mounting a TV over a fireplace, the customer's fireplace must have a blank.
A stud.
Well,
that's true.
That is true, actually. But we're gonna go ahead and give it to him. He's correct. However, what I was specifically looking for on this. Now I wish I would have asked one of these other questions, but what I was specifically looking for was a mantle. Because each TV, the manufacturer specifications are rated up to a specific temperature. Usually it's in that 165 degree range, and a mantle is going to help shield that heat coming from the fireplace. It's going to help it to surpass the TV. If it doesn't have a mantle present, the TV gets hot, and then we're going to damage their TV. All right, I got one more question for you. We gave you that one because my question was poorly worded. All right, but I'm not giving you a darn thing on this last one now.
Okay, okay.
All right. Our founder, Roddy McKinney, made a special appearance on a podcast, and his wife popped in as well. What is Miss McKinney's first name?
Oh, my God.
A lot of pressure on this one, brother.
That is pressure.
Mr. Roddy, you out there?
It starts with this.
What's the first letter? What's the first letter of name start with?
Miss J.
Jan.
That's
close.
Short for Janice. Yeah, it's. I don't know. John P's got his. Oh man,
he's hard.
Jesse, sorry, Mr. Roddy. All right.
So, Janice, I always heard Jan. That's what I always heard.
All right. Well, all right. So, guys, where do you stand? We got Tuscaloosa Hall of Fame, Tuscaloosa Bowling Hall of Fame champion Jesse Jones, who just competed in our SUI podcast trivia, and he was playing for one of these awesome hats. It's got the SUI podcast logo on it. All of our guests get one. They're always shipped out on Mondays. What do you guys got for a verdict?
Well, you know what? Let me say this, because Jesse has such positive energy every time I see him. because of the fact that I get so many favorable C-Star 5 scores for HughesNet customers who love Jesse. Give Jesse a B.
All right, so we got a yay for from John P. How about you, Todd?
Todd, we got hired together, Todd. Don't do this.
That's right.
Don't mess
That's right.
up.
2009 was a good year for Satellites Unlimited because we both entered into this company in the same year. You know what? Much better bowler than trivia question.
I get that.
You know, he deserves a hat to accentuate those ruggedly handsome good looks.
No
So,
kidding.
let's give it
Absolutely.
to him. That's where we
Thank
go.
you.
All right. Well, Jesse, thanks for joining us today. It's been a pleasure having with you and having you on and catching up. And thanks for putting yourself out there and joining us today, man.
Hey, I enjoyed every minute of it. I hope I get called back again one day. It's awesome. That I've seen it a couple of times. I don't have a lot of time in my life to watch it as much as I like to, but yeah, I really like what y'all doing, and it's great. It's great.
Good deal,
And
Jesse.
thank y'all for having me on.
You're welcome, buddy. And you take care and you have a great Labor Day weekend watching some college football. Okay, buddy?
I sure will. Thank you. And y'all have
All
a
right,
great day.
Jesse. You too, buddy.
All right.
Hey, Satellites Unlimited employees, are you looking to make quick and easy money? If the answer is yes, then we have the deal for you. Here at Satellites Unlimited, you can earn money for every person you refer to work with us. All you need to do is have your candidate go to www.suidish.com and use your name when applying, and we will do the rest. It's quick and easy. We're an employee-owned company and want to welcome your referral into the family. So what are you waiting for? Start referring people today.
You're listening to the Satellites Unlimited podcast. Now, back to the show.
There's no more time to kind of banter back and forth now because we got our next guest on. We have Jonathan Pryor out of the Monroe location, and I think we're going to send this over to Todd for the interview.
Your systems are offline.
I'm going to set the stage here, gentlemen. 1972. It was a great year.
Were you around?
I was around.
Okay.
Yeah. Jonathan and I are exactly the same age.
Okay.
Come on.
Yeah, he's a little bit older than I am, but only in a matter of months. Right? You were born in February, right?
Yes,
John?
I was born in February. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I was born in June, same year. It's like a fine wine. We age well.
That's right.
Jonathan, we called you. We asked you to come to this for a very specific reason.
Yes.
You know, in any organization, everybody that's ever joined Satellites Unlimited as a technician had a journey that they went through to get to that point. Everybody's got a little bit different story about, what brought them to Satellites Unlimited. Ironically enough, I see almost every new trainee that comes into this company, and they all look like my children at this point. But every once in a while, right, one of us older fellows decides to get a wild hair and become a Satellites Unlimited technician. Right?
See if we still got it.
Seeing if we still got it, right? So that's one of the reasons, some of the most successful technicians we have in this company are a little bit older, and so I think it's really important that we have some discourse about, hey, what brought you here? How did you decide to come to Satellites Unlimited? You've done a lot of really great things in a very short period of time.
Thank you.
You hail out of the Monroe area.
Yes, sir.
And so what led up to this point? Like what I'd really be interested in kind of understanding from you is, can you tell us a little bit about what you did before coming to SUI? More specifically, did any of that experience in whatever industry you came from help you or prepare you for the technician role here at Satellites Unlimited?
Yes, sir. Good morning, Jonathan. Here. Actually, I was in the military. I started my career at the ripe age of 17. And I was a truck driver. I hauled the M1 Abrams. And then I got out and got into the National Guard and was moving drilling rigs from my hometown of Haynesville, Louisiana, in the oil field, and used to be a heavy hauler. And then got a wild hair in '03. My father passed away, who was my driving inspiration and my heart. And he was old school. I was a late child. He was 42 when I was born. My mother turned 39 the day after I was born. And I thank God every day that they were my parents, because they were old school and they instilled old school values and ideals in me, and was really a driving force. With that being said, I worked in the oil field. I put everything into everything I did, 110%, my heart, soul, everything. And then my wife said, look, you're good at rebuilding motors, and my brother-in-law was a mechanical engineer. Why not go to school and become a millwright? So I did. I went and got a 2-year associate's degree in vibration technology and rotating equipment, and became a millwright. We moved to South Louisiana, and I went to work for Citgo, City Services, and it was a millwright in one of their refineries. And then my wife wanted to move to Houston. She's a speech therapist, speech language pathologist, had better opportunities in Houston. So we moved to a little suburb south of Houston called League City. And I went to work for LyondellBasell at their refinery. And we stayed out there, about 10 years. And then here about 6 years ago, we recently moved back to the North Louisiana area, Ruston. And I was working in new construction as a millwright for McDermott in Westlake, Louisiana, close to Lake Charles, and built a power plant for energy. It took 2 years. And at the end of this, from dirt to completion, handing the keys and backfeeding the electricity from the 2 turbines that we installed, I came home and, took a break from a 2-year job, and deer hunted and fished. I like to fish and hunt. And then COVID hit, and Robert Hurd, which is one of our technicians and a good friend of mine, co-worker from the Monroe office, came and just so happened to be my Tier 5 installation tech. And at the time, I knew nothing about cable. I mean, I could unscrew a cable, and that's about it, And he came and did our installation in August of that year. And my wife said, ask him. I said, okay, I played enough since December, deer hunted and everything. Are y'all hiring? He said, yes, I'll call my boss right now. And he got on the phone with Mike James, and Mike called me in a couple of days. And I've got my 2-year anniversary coming up on September the 8th. And on Labor Day of that year, I was on my way driving to Birmingham, Alabama, to a citation court, and took my training, and the ball's been running ever since, and just trying to get better and learn and trying to keep up with these young cats.
Well, you seem to be doing a really good job. Hey, to be as relatively new as you are, to come away with a Tech of the Quarter win, it's a pretty amazing thing to accomplish.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, so you're a little bit older than your average tech.
Yeah.
Do you feel that your age and your prior work experience helped you early in your career as a technician?
Yes, sir. I really do. And I consider myself a people person. Therefore, it helps me to, aside from actual doing the work. Now, that had to be a learnt or a taught inherent quality. But as far as meeting people and actually listening to the customer, yes, I may take a little time, and I'm trying to get faster and faster. But being able to talk to the customers and actually listen and find out, from their end, what their needs and their questions and their wants would be, has helped me out a lot in that aspect. And on the other, with any job, once you get some training, repetition, and doing the right thing from the start to finish, from end to end checks, whatever it may be, carries you on through the rest of the job. Now, there's an old saying, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Well, I'm here to tell you that is a lie. You can't
Yeah, I
teach
don't
an old
believe it
dog
either.
new tricks.
JP, I don't believe that either.
I learn new stuff every day, and with these new systems coming out, you got to get it. That's all it is to it.
Right. So we have quite a few newer technicians. We talk in the training class about the podcast, and so I think we have a pretty significant number of our new techs listening. So for them, what did you find to be the most challenging part of just starting the technician role?
Let me look back. Getting used to the operating procedures. It wasn't so much the work. Once you do something, like I said previously, muscle memory, whether it be building a dish, looking with your inclinometer to get, your azimuth, the elevation, looking for lines of sight of that matter. But the biggest thing that really stumbled with me was learning how to get into different operating procedures, Oracle, working with Comet,
Right.
and stuff like that. Now, with that being said, technology, but I have a son that's in the Navy. He's on USS Tennessee, whom I'm very proud of. I call him my prodigal son. He's a missile technician over the Trident 2 D5 nuclear missiles on the Tennessee. And if I have a question or something, I always, refer to him or another coworker or something. Usually younger techs that are, more in this technology, tech savvy, if you will. But that was the biggest thing, is just, get me into doing all that stuff. But I mean, once you do it, my biggest fear is, we're going to change this, like with the new compass and everything.
Right.
We're going to do.
Right.
It just takes some getting used to. That was kind of a stumbling block, but I took it in stride, and now it's secondhand.
Right. So, well, thank you so much for your input. I love my last question. Yeah, my last question is my favorite. You had something, Grant?
Oh, I was just gonna ask. Like, he celebrated, like he accomplished. Jonathan, you got something going on right now, right? Something.
Yes, sir. I wasn't really gonna. You brought it to the attention, but I wasn't gonna say much about it. I'm trying to remain humble in front of God's eyes, because excuse me.
No, you're good.
Without His grace, in this job, which y'all given me an opportunity, which I love my job. If you don't love your job, you're gonna be miserable. And therefore your production is going to be down. But if you like what you do every day, you're going to be able to accomplish goals. I set a goal 2 years ago when I come to work here, that I and my wife would build our first home, because we've always rented or moved from here to here over our life. And her being a traveling speech therapist, we'd rent from here and move this state, this country, this state. And we were just recently, as of last Thursday, signed the title and the deed and everything in our new 2,850 square foot 3-bedroom home. And it's just been a blessing.
Awesome, man.
And I can't say enough about how the company and all my bosses, from, my general manager, Mike, to my FSMs, Garrett, Dustin Cowley, even Amisha, and Lavelle in the warehouse. I can't say enough for all of them, because they've all been there and supported me, and knew it was kind of hard, because I had a lot going on my mind, and yet still kept me busy doing what I needed to do in my job to keep my mind off of it, if that makes any sense to you. And just made it so much a smoother conversion into this new home. It's going to take some getting settled in, but it's just been a blessing. And,
Well, you got some interesting neighbors too, right?
he turned in the neighborhood. The second house on the right from me, 7 houses up, is my field service manager, Mr. Dustin Colley, and he has been very
to Dustin, right? Because it's pretty strong testimony to move right next door to your boss.
Yeah, no, seriously.
That's having some guts right there. You know, you can't call in. You can't call in and say, you know, hey, I'm not feeling very well. JP, I know today's opening day of deer season. No, you're not slipping out on me. You got a full route, man. We're booked out 124, 140%. You can't cut out on me. And I'm the type that would, no, I think I'll be all right. That I would go on and do what I needed to do the next right thing, you know, and that, you do good to people and people do good to you. That's the main thing.
That's absolutely true. So the house is in Calhoun, Louisiana, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's actually in between Ruston and Ruston and Monroe. Yes, sir.
All right. So last question. If you're going out to a special dinner, you're taking that sweet lady of yours out for a good dinner. Are you headed towards Ruston or are you headed towards Monroe?
Being I'm from Haynesville, the other direction, and you know, I've lived 6 years since we come back from Houston and Ruston. I know there's more stuff to do and more better restaurants in Monroe, but being honest with you, I would have to say I'm going back west. I would go to Ruston, which either one of them is 20 minutes away. So
where are you going to go when you get there?
My wife likes to eat at El Doritos, which is a Mexican restaurant right there across the interstate from Walmart in Ruston. Either that or go north up to Landry's Seafood. That's where I like to go on Highway 33. And they can have all you can eat catfish.
Awesome. Well, you know what, JP, you're a testament to the fact that there are many journeys that can bring you to SUI and many different, you know, we also have the same challenges when we start, no matter what our age, where we came from, what our history, and you can come here and be successful regardless of where you came from and what you did. And so you've made that very clear to everybody on this interview, and we're super proud of you. Congratulations on the new house.
Thank you so much, sir.
And we appreciate you being on the podcast. Thank you very much.
Yeah, JP, thanks for joining us, man. We appreciate your service and your son, and we wish him nothing but the best as well, sir. And hey, send me some pictures of that house when you get moved in, okay?
I was going to last night, but Grant, I was so tired, man, and it was dark and dealing with dogs in the new neighborhood, and it's just it's massive chaos right now, sir. But I will get you some pictures, and I've already it's kind of fringe benefits of having an FSM that kind of knows the rope of being a technician too. We've already got my Sony Bravia 85-inch hung on my wall in the house, and already got it up pumping. With a Hopper 3. So, you know,
boom, love it, brother. Well, thanks for joining us. We appreciate you, JP.
Hey, I enjoyed it more than you know. This was good for my heart.
Good, buddy. Well, you take care. Be careful out there, okay?
Roger that. Y'all have a great day.
All right, you too, big man.
Your systems are offline.
Ruston, Louisiana.
Wow. If that, just to hear, you know, the power of emotion, you know, in his voice, you can feel how thankful he is for the opportunity. And, you know, I know this was a groundbreaking achievement from Jonathan, something that he's wanted to do for a very long time. And he's accomplished it. And just to be able to bring him on and share that with us was just, man, he talks about it being good for his heart and soul. It was good for my heart and soul. How about y'all?
I mean, what a great success story. And you can actually, I mean, you talk about being personable with customers. You can hear that in Jonathan's voice. You can see, you can hear how he connects with his customers, creates what I call the transference of feelings from himself to the customers. And guys, let's face it, at its core, this is a people business. This is a customer service business. We can teach you everything else, but man, you've got to love people. You have to love your customers.
Absolutely. And, you know, it just goes to show that there's, to me, what I hear in his voice is dedication. And what I hear in his voice is drive and determination. And we talked about key ingredients that we've seen in both of our interviews today, right? The two things. Clayton started out relatively young, same place, sitting out in the oil field. And at some point in your life, I think they ended up in the same place at very different points in their life, right? Clayton decided once the family started getting here, it's time to settle down. And this company and this technician job offers and affords you. I moved around a lot before I came to work here. And it just affords you the opportunity to make a really good living and be home every night, right? If that's what you so choose. So, just thank you, JP, for being on the call. You did all of our hearts a lot of good just by listening to your story and your testimony.
Yeah, and I agree that both interviews, should be inspiring to all of those listening. And I tell you what, let's get inspired some more. So we sent out a question about what is your biggest achievement. Now, we said this did not have to be work related. This could be something on the personal side. Hey, I married my best friend. That's a heck of achievement. Hey, if I think about, if we think about our kids being born, these are huge milestones and accolades that we wanted to achieve. And so, well, I guess in some cases it could be. My first one was both of mine were a surprise. It was an unpleasant one. And the first one, I was disheartened. I was disappointed because I was only 21 years old and I wasn't ready. Right. And then when my son was born, I worked at Satellites Unlimited. And to their point, I had moved into that house that I wanted to finally have built. I felt I was ready to bring somebody else into the world. So I was super pumped, right? It was the opposite of emotions. But, our people shared what their testimonials were to, what has been their biggest achievement. So Todd, John P., I know you have those lined up in front of you. Let's hammer out those real quick.
How many you got, John?
I have three.
I have three as well.
Mine are all really, I'd say, family-themed achievements. So I'll go ahead and start with the first one, if I may, gentlemen. And this comes to us from James Ramsey out of Hattiesburg. And James states that his biggest achievement was getting married and having children and grandchildren. And I love this, guys. Money is meaningless without someone to spend it on.
That's a pretty powerful
That
statement.
is, yeah. Thank you, James Ramsey out of Hattiesburg. We
Thank you,
appreciate it.
James.
Yeah, awesome. Love that.
So who knew we had a philosophical, I wouldn't have anticipated we would have gotten a very philosophical answer from the very basic question, what is your biggest achievement? So I was rather surprised and delighted when we got Kevin Bates out of our Chattanooga's response. So again, the very basic question, and this is a pretty motivational statement too, if you think about it. The very basic question, what is your biggest achievement? And Kevin's answer was profound. The next one. So the next achievement. For both myself and our office, I believe the greatest achievement are the ones yet to be accomplished.
Wow.
Man,
that's deep.
You may need to trademark that quote, huh?
Yeah. No doubt. No doubt at all. So thank you very much, Kevin. That actually made my day when I read that.
It's right up your alley.
So how many more do you have?
Well, we're down to two.
Down to two? Okay, I'm down to two as well.
Yes.
So am I next?
You are indeed.
All right. So this comes to us from William Casey Woods out of Meridian. Longtime veteran, I believe, here at Satellites Unlimited, and also a contributor to the podcast. We had him on the show not too long ago, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
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 couple episodes ago.
That's right.
Played our podcast trivia.
Yes, indeed.
Didn't get 5 though. That is yet to be achieved.
That is yet to be achieved. Yes. So the search continues. All right. So Casey states that my 3 kids being born and 3 grandchildren after that excitement. That's number 1. But also too, he states the great feeling of achievement that he's had in going to the Oscars and being successful in this company. So, hey, that's great.
It is.
That's fantastic.
Outstanding event.
Yeah. Casey, thank you so much for your contribution.
I'm surprised you didn't, John, put your Oscar flair on
Oscar flair?
like the Satellites Unlimited Oscars.
Oh.
That's what I was kind of,
The Satellites Unlimited Oscars. And this will be
again something else that could be trademarked. Right?
Now,
John
wait a minute.
P's
So next year will be what, the 12th?
12.
Is it the 12th? Okay, very good.
Yeah, 'cause I think it was number 10 in the fall.
Yeah.
Then we did
Wait,
11.
no. I think we're wrong. It was this last one was the 10th. We're going on number 11.
Number 11. Okay, the 11th annual
Yep.
Satellites Unlimited Oscars coming up in 2023. Yes, indeed. Hard to believe 2013 was the first Oscars event. Can you
Yeah.
believe that?
It's amazing.
Wow.
I think we were all there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I
Barber
was.
Motorsports Museum.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
a nice venue.
Yeah.
Kind of weird, but it was nice.
It was. Yeah.
Hey, but we got James Penland, a relatively new technician out of the Birmingham office. Thank you, James, for sending in a submission. They're kind of all over the board, right? Like we had a lot of interesting. Jesse, sports related thing. We had James had a sports related accomplishment as well. His biggest accomplishment would be playing in his first amateur golf tournament. So just playing in an amateur golf tournament would be pretty interesting, right?
Yeah.
But he won it. And he didn't win it by little. He won it by 3 strokes. So he dominated the competition.
I mean, that's impressive, man.
Yeah.
Just to be able to play in a tournament, to be competitive enough to play in a tournament. We got a lot of avid golfers that work here.
Yeah, we do.
You go down to Dan Weiner. I mean, Steven Jenkins, Evan Elliott plays with him a good bit. You got, let's not forget, our Mark Hamill.
Yeah.
Our guy.
Yeah.
Right. So
he plays avidly.
I mean, you mentioned
Johnny Falls.
You guys mentioned Mark Hamill. You mentioned Daniel Weiner, both out of Ocala, right? And Ocala, Florida, really is a great area for golf.
Yeah, no doubt.
I can't golf.
I can't either.
I just don't have the patience
Yeah.
nor the temperament for golf.
Yeah.
Anyway, but God bless those that do. Thank you.
It's a
So
skill.
no golf sponsorships on the show. Probably.
Yeah, probably not.
Sorry about that, guys. So John.
Okay, so I've got one more, and it's a big one. I'm going to put on my my Walgreens readers for this one. So
wait,
Walgreens,
who's that?
Walgreens readers.
Walgreens
yes,
readers.
yes.
Walgreens.
Another potential sponsor.
Potentially, we
would love.
we wish they would sponsor the podcast. Yes, we do. It's our wish list of sponsors.
We'll scroll a disclaimer
All right.
at the bottom of the
So-
screen. John.
Yes, we will. So this is a big one. This comes to us from Chase Bowerman out of Birmingham. And, what has Chase not accomplished here at Satellites Unlimited? He's certified Dish Tech, certified HughesNet, certified OnTech. What am I missing anything, friends?
Certified awesome.
Certified awesome.
Lead Tech.
Yeah. I don't know, ADT, I guess. I don't know, but I mean, perhaps. But what a testimonial here. What a statement about his biggest achievement, friends. So I'm going to go ahead and read this to you. Chase states that I would have to say my biggest achievement in life so far is having a career here at Satellites Unlimited. Sounds buttered up, I know, but before I came to Satellites Unlimited, I worked 3 jobs at once to make ends meet and provide for my family. I worked as a salary-paid IT technician for Anniston City School System, as well as washing dishes for a church 3 times a week, and worked at a vape shop during the late evening and nighttime. I'd say is my biggest achievement in life to be able to work one job and make more money than I ever have before while working 3 jobs. Even working 3 jobs, I was living paycheck to paycheck. But at Satellites Unlimited, I tackled all of my debt, got my wife a new vehicle with plenty of room for my 3 kids, and we live comfortably with no worries about if we have enough money for everything we need week to week. Satellites Unlimited has provided a better life for myself and my family, and I'll be forever grateful to everyone that took place in training me or molding me to be the technician I am today. Chase Bowerman, thank you so very much for this submission. Wow.
Yeah,
Spent
that's
some quality
an
time
awesome one right there.
We both have spent some quality time with Chase.
Oh, yeah.
Super good dude.
Man, absolutely.
So the final one, pretty, pretty impressive answer. This is from Aaron Caldwell out of our Baton Rouge office. We talk about a lot of accomplishments here, and there's a pretty long list here. And it touches on a lot of things that we've talked about thus far in the podcast. It was very difficult for Aaron to narrow this down, so he gave us a pretty comprehensive list of what he's done. First off, and I'll just read directly from his response. First off, I'm married to my best friend. I love her more than all the other people I love combined. Second, I became a homeowner at only 27. Nobody else in my family has achieved that. Third, I'm proud of the fact that the literary universe I've been working on since 2013 is finally being written down in actual books. Although I'm a father to a baby girl in 2 days' time from writing this.
Since been born.
Been born.
And 2 of our guests had babies this past week.
Right.
Jared H. from Chattanooga and Aaron Caldwell from Baton Rouge. So
So-
both first-time parents, too, by the way. So.
Congratulations. And to me, there's no greater calling than fatherhood. I'm blessed to finally be a father at age 29, and Samantha Grace is mine, and my wife, Elizabeth's pride and joy. He had some honorable mentions that are pretty impressive too, so I wanted to share those as well. I'm on YouTube as a paranormal investigator for the Society of Paranormal and Supernatural Research, which I co-founded back in the early 2010s. I no longer investigate, but I am proud of my body of work. Gotta check that out.
Interesting.
I once published.
That's a YouTube, right?
That's on YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah. I once published a short story called Arizona as a junior in high school, it's about 2 sailors trying to survive the attack on Pearl Harbor while the battleship Arizona is capsizing. The story cannot be found anywhere. Wow, that was hard. Anywhere anymore, and I no longer possess the original work, sadly. So if you happen
To have a
we are
copy
far-reaching,
Right.
Aaron. So anybody
Maybe a
out
copy
there,
in India somewhere. or
yeah, it
something,
could
you
be.
know?
Could be in could be in England.
Could be.
And then finally, he bought his personal vehicle brand new in 2016. He was given 6 years to pay it off. He did it in 2. So that's good physical responsibility as well.
These have been great.
Just an amazing group of accomplishments, Aaron, and thank you for submitting this.
I think he came back and said he was a bassist too. That might not be on that piece of paper,
No,
but I
it's
think
not
he
on
said,
that one.
"Hey, I was also in like a jazz band as like a bassist for like
Really? Wow.
many years." So
He's done a lot in 29 years.
definitely a creative individual. I tell you what, this episode has been awesome from the standpoint of just really, highlighting not only the journeys and achievements accomplished in joining Satellites Unlimited, but many things that are going on in these folks' lives on a much deeper level when we talk about kids being born and being married to their best friend and being able to provide that dependable vehicle. Gosh darn it, Clayton, Henley, and Jonathan Pryor moving into new homes. So I know in as we kind of wrap it up here, I wanted to ask you two, what is your greatest achievement?
That I've yet achieved. The
Can't
next
use
one.
that one. That's already been used
It
by
was so
Kevin Bates.
impressive, I
Kevin,
can't-
trademark that phrase.
Yeah, we'll get you in touch with legal. Right. I live through the accomplishment of my children, right? It validates the fact that I've done what I'm supposed to do as a parent. And so if I had to single one thing out, I would say just my children have been my greatest accomplishment. Yeah.
So yeah, it's a great one. Yeah, for sure.
So mine, I guess, goes kind of in line with the theme that we've heard repeated today with a lot of these folks that, family is the most important thing, right? So for me, I think I've shared with you guys my story in the past, and I lived in the Tampa Bay area, and I had a great lifestyle. I was single. I did not get married till I was 37 years old, and had a place that was within walking distance of the beach. But met the love of my life, who happened to be from Alabaster, Alabama, right? And we got married, and after our daughter was born, decided to move up here. And I never envisioned I would be living in Alabama, but you know what? I love it. Been here now for 18 years now, and it's been a great environment. It's been great, for me in terms of my faith, with church, and here with this company now for 17 and a half years. I can't imagine being anywhere else. So yeah, definitely it's my family. It's my beautiful wife of almost 21 years. Now we've been married, and my daughter, who will turn 18 years old in the next couple of weeks. So that's my life, man. I love it.
Awesome. Thanks. Well,
Yeah.
we can't end this podcast without the answer from the head guru, Jefe, Grant. So what's your greatest accomplishment?
I'm going to echo the same sentiments. It's going to be family based, but my journey, you hear a lot of things. It's not necessarily about the destination, but the journey. And I can remember living in upstate New York, and I was 19 at the time. I was born in Alabama. I'd lived in Germany and moved to New York, and I just wasn't going anywhere. I wasn't doing the things that I needed to do. I was working, but by the time Sunday evening came by, I had no money in my wallet, and the process just kind of started all over again, right? Well, my grandfather passed away. I moved down here with my grandmother. I had $67 in bills, $2 in change to my name. I took a one-way Greyhound bus ticket to Birmingham, Alabama, and I can remember arriving in the city and saying, this is the fresh start I need. I can remember looking around at the Greyhound bus station in downtown Birmingham and just saying, this is where I'm going to start a life. And, and so I would say, this is where my kids were born. This is where my kids go to school. This is where, I did meet my wife and get married and those types of things. And it's where ultimately I joined this organization, who is able to have a profound impact on not only my life, but the life of my family. So that's mine, guys. And with that, it's been a great episode. I would say a heartwarming episode.
Yeah.
Would you not say that?
Absolutely, my friend.
And you know what? Everybody here deserves the opportunity to make their dreams come true. You can do it. And I think the lesson here today is you can do it with applied work ethic, being tough, being diligent, being self-motivated, and persevering through these different obstacles and challenges that life just naturally poses. Until next time, for John P., Todd McClinton, and Grant Hoban, this is the Satellites Unlimited podcast, episode 13. Join us in 2 weeks.